Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We're here today with one of my favorite shows of the week, at least one of the ones that I think is the most fun, and that is our Friday review. Every single Friday, what I try to do is give you the updates of the week, and then I go into anything we have going on over at Equalife just to make sure you didn't miss what we have going on that week inside of the private practice, which of course is a global-based practice helping people in 27 countries around the world. After that, I like to go over a recap of the week, what we did for the podcast, and then we get right into a product review, or many of the weeks this year, I will also be doing the herb of the week. So detailed information on a particular herb, just like I did 2 years ago, going through every single vitamin. So if you ever have questions on what does this vitamin do? What does that vitamin do? I went through every single one of those just a couple years back. So easily searchable at stephencabral.com/podcast. And now I hope to do the same exact thing with herbs. So it's basically like encyclopedia for vitamins and minerals. I did that again, like I said, a couple years back, easily searchable. And then I'm doing the same this year for herbs. So 1 a week, 52 weeks, that is what I will be doing. And I know we already did one on black seed oil just a week or two ago, and now it'll be every single week. This week is one of my favorites. So I'll be going through that. And then I always take you through a book review. So I read a lot of books. I love to read on a lot of different topics. It's not just health-based topics. So for example, today's is on psychology and kind of breaking bad habits. So that's a great one. Really look forward to sharing that. And then also 2 research studies of the week. And those are quick. Those are basically excerpts. And then I give you the full research if you'd like to go more in depth. All of today's links will be at stephencabral.com/2177. So if you want to follow along and check out the takeaways and links, that will be at stephencabral.com/2177. All right, so let's dive into today's show. And it always starts, as I said, with our update for the week. So the biggest one I wanted to give you, this is a personal one. So sometimes I like to give you some personal updates. I've been doing a lot of kind of new experimentations. I'm always experimenting with new foods or new smoothie recipes or new supplements or new just different things I like to do. And it's interesting because over the last, let's say, 2 weeks, I've gotten like little minor, almost under the skin breakouts. Like I can feel them. And it's very strange because I haven't had that for many, many, many years. So, but every once in a while it does happen. So for example, let's say that I eat some cow's milk dairy. Okay. I know for sure that my body is not friends with cow's milk dairy. And of course, for most people, it doesn't just cause acne. It causes inflammation. It's the number 1 IgG food sensitivity. So I know that. Again, I don't have to look at another couple thousand labs to know that. But and I'm not eating cow's milk dairy, so I'm not saying it's that. But it's almost like that effect for me. So it's very interesting. So I wanted to share that with you because I haven't figured out the answer quite yet for me because I've added about a half a dozen new things. Now, I always tell you this is the reason why you shouldn't add a half a dozen new things at a time, because if anything changes, you don't know what it was. Now, the problem is I added like a half a dozen things that I want to continue to do. So that's why I added them all at once. I didn't expect any little side effect, but nonetheless, a side effect is there. Is it major? No, not at all. Everything else feels perfectly great, except for a little bit of under the skin acne or breakouts. Again, you can't really see it on the skin too much, a little bit, but not so much. But the other factor was simply going through my New Year's detox and it pushing out more of what was floated around in my body. That is always a possibility. It just hasn't happened to me for like 5 years for anything like that to happen because I keep up with that. Now, I will say that I certainly indulge during the holidays, but I don't think enough for that to make a bigger difference. So who knows? I will figure it out. And if it doesn't go away over the next week, what I'll have to do is simply eliminate all but one of the new variables I added in. And then I'll say, okay, after a week, does everything kind of calm down on the skin? And if the answer is yes, great. So it wasn't the one I kept in, it was one of the other 5. Then I add in the next one. And then I say, okay, anything happen over the next week? If the answer is no, that one's safe. And then I add in the next one. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, that's how we're able to figure everything out in our practice as well, is using variables. And so it's always why I tell you that as long as you don't give up, we can figure out everything. We really can. And it's not because we're masterminds or geniuses. It's just that we know the system. We know what should work. If it needs to be tweaked, we tweak it. And so that's just a kind of a little update I wanted to share with you. And that is that. For Equilife, I wanted to say this, that the cat is officially out of the bag, as they say. And I have no idea what that old school idiom even means. I really don't, but or where it came from. But I know this, that we are going to be launching massive benefits to this Ayubowan membership each and every month, with the culmination essentially in April in a brand new app for our Equilife subscribers. Now, here's the amazing thing. The Ayubowan membership, it's going to be over $4,000 a year in free benefits. And you don't have to pay anything to be a member. This is what people are having difficulty wrapping their head around, because I think it's pretty amazing. We weren't able to do this until essentially our 5th year. We were very small I had my big Boston practice, a very small online about 5 years ago or so. And then we started to move online. And then 3 years ago, okay, that's when we brought everything on, last 2 to 3 years. But we were never able to do these types of things, which I think is just fantastic. But here's the thing. If you subscribe to any products on Equilife at $79 a month, so typically it's daily nutritional support, month supply, and maybe alkalizing vitamin C or full spectrum vitamin C. And that's all you need to do. And with that, you get a free minerals and metals test your first month. That's $299, okay, right there. And it comes with a health coaching assessment, either with our team, or if you run it through your integrative health practitioner, level 2, your integrative health practitioner level 2 does that coaching call with you. But that's not the only thing. That's just the start. We are going to provide exclusive Q&As with myself once a month. We're going to be doing master classes where I get on with a celebrity chef, a celebrity mental health-based person in the space, someone that does binaural beats, someone that does like masterclass in breath work. And we don't just talk about it. We actually go through it during that. And then when our app debuts, there is online workouts. There's your personalized nutrition plan. Binaural beats. There's so much that is going to be coming. And our Ayubowan members that join here in January are actually the ones that are going to get the most benefits. Because when our new single labs debut in late March and April, you're going to get your choice every 90 days. So if you sign up in January, you get another lab in April every 90 days. And that's complimentary, completely free. And those are $100 to $200 value. It's going to be things like your TSH for your thyroid, your testosterone, or your estrogen, or your progesterone, or your DHEA, or PSA for the prostate, or IGF-1 for growth hormone levels. These are unbelievable lab tests now, completely free, with a consultation through our team and a plan, or with your IHP level 2. And nothing like this has ever been done. I couldn't be more proud of my team for making this happen. And the amazing thing is that these are just going to ship with your order of that $79 or more. So you're just getting the products that you would normally get, but now they're on subscription. Okay, that's all there is to it. And we can ship them anywhere in the world, 27 countries around the world. I think that's pretty remarkable. Again, I want to give a shout out to my team. They're all working hard behind the scenes, harder than you could imagine, and making all this happen. So wanted to share that with you. How do you find out more? Just by going to stevencabral.com/shop or right to eco.life. They both take you to the same place, and you'll learn about the Ayubowan membership. If you don't know what Ayubowan means, I'd love you to check out that page, which is just if you go to equa.life, equi.life/membership, or just click on the banner on the homepage. It'll take you through my video explaining all of this, but also so much more to come. So I wanted to share that with you. Again, I couldn't be more excited for our community and proud of our team for making this happen. A dream come true, truly is. All right, podcast recap for the week. 2173. If you didn't listen to the Mindset and Motivation Monday, it has now become, believe it or not, the most popular podcast of the week. I can't believe it. I talked about that. I talk about it on this coming Monday show. I just never in my wildest dreams would I believe that the Mindset and Motivation Monday is more popular than all of the other shows. But it is. And so I'm very happy with that. I really am. I think it's amazing. And the people have voted. You have voted. And I think that's fantastic. So on Monday, I gave you my non-negotiables. Probably very different than yours. Maybe some are the same. Maybe some are different. But the important thing is that you figure out what your non-negotiables are. So I give you mine, episode 2173. Episode 2174 was a high-fat diet and resveratrol research. Really important out there for the people on low-carb diets because predominantly they become high-fat diets. So really important that you check that out. You do not need to be in ketosis to burn fat. That was basically just a statement podcast, and not to be funny, but I give you the mechanisms why you don't have to be low carb all the time in order to lose weight. It's not only is it untrue, it's unscientific, and so I just wanted to share with you something that you can use, when chatting with people saying you need to be on a super low carb diet. You don't need to deprive yourself in that way. All right. And then yesterday's show, 3 ways to overcome exhaustion from exercise. So basically I'm teaching you what to look for, how to progress, how to recover better. Definitely check out that show. All right. This week is our herb of the week. And what is our herb of the week? Well, it just happens to be one of my favorites. Okay. So one of my all-time favorites. Why do I use it? I use it and have personally used it for Th2 immune dominance for things like allergies and itchy eyes and chemical sensitivities to the world around me. And you'll see as well as a DHT blocker. Now, one of the main reasons I also started using this too is that I use it because it's in a product that I use that has a high level of quercetin, and a high level of quercetin is called a zinc ionophore, which helps to destroy viruses. So we'll keep it at that so I don't get censored. All right. So what is the herb that I'm talking about? It's called stinging nettles. It has been one of my favorites now for over a decade. When I learned about it, back when I was around 26, 27 years old, my mentor was like the second person or third person to introduce me to it, but she's really the one that got me to wrap my head around it from a bigger perspective of how healing something like this could be when combined with vitamin C and quercetin for my allergies. And when I did that, I never looked back. I mean, I really didn't. It was the alkalizing vitamin C through a different brand back then, and quercetin and this product that helped me tremendously for my allergies. Now, I have to tell you that I'm not making any medical claims. I'm not giving you any medical advice. I'm not providing any medical treatment plans or cures, right? So that is the disclaimer here. But let me tell you a little bit about stinging nettles. So it is very high in vitamins and minerals too, which is very interesting because you can use the stinging nettle tea if you'd like, besides just the herbs, to get a lot of benefits from its high levels of calcium and magnesium and phosphorus and potassium. So all the electrolytes. It contains calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium. There's a little bit of, even I think a little bit of iron in there as well, and a little bit of phosphorus. So certainly can be great for the bones. There's vitamin A, there is vitamin C, there's some B vitamins. It's very high in antioxidants with a specific antioxidant called camphorol, which is an interesting one as well because it works right along. Well, it basically contains quercetin, so it gives you a nice big boost of that too. So it's just an amazing product. Some of the other research behind it is that I have to say the word may in front of it, so it may help balance healthy levels of inflammation, right? So anybody dealing with inflammatory issues, like all the things that I spoke about, it may help with enlarged prostate. Okay. Why? Because it's a pretty good DHT blocker, meaning it blocks testosterone from becoming dihydrotestosterone. So if it does that and helps the prostate, guess what else it does? It also helps with hair loss, especially DHT-based hair loss, which is the 90% of the reason why men lose their hair. All right. And it's in our new coming out daily hair support product. It also, again, I spoke about it helping with hay fever and other types of allergies. I didn't have hay fever allergies. I had seasonal allergies and then just everyday allergies to the world around me. Luckily, I no longer do anymore, but it's so great at essentially blocking histamines. So that's why I used it with straight quercetin and vitamin C as well. It may help in lowering blood pressure in some individuals, and it may help with healthy levels of blood sugar balancing. So simply put, I use it in a product called Hist Pro, and you could use it however you'd like. You can use it as a tea, you can use it in capsules, but I like using it with vitamin C, and I like using it with quercetin and a couple of the other synergists in there. It just seems to always work better when things work in synergy. So Hist Pro is easy to find. It's HISTPRO. And again, for issues that I had, I would use that with alkalizing vitamin C, and I got tremendous benefits. So, okay. That is that for our herb of the week, stinging nettles. Great name too. Book review this week. I wanted to share with you that I don't often, let me take a little sip of my smoothie here. I do not often listen to audiobooks. I really don't, because I prefer to listen to podcasts. I like conversations when I'm listening to audio. I'll even put on a YouTube video and just kind of listen to the audio. I like the audio from conversations. So I'm not typically doing that, or if I'm listening to audio, I'm doing something, a podcast that's educational as well, or, even like I've said before, just kind of something funny to lighten the mood from any stress. But I like to read books. But I said to myself, you know what? You've got a little bit of a drive, because I had to drive for a particular place. So I was like, I'm going to get an audiobook. And I was recommended the book Triggers, and it ended up being, it ended up being a very good book. So the reason why I chose this one is that we just started, or we're getting into teaching IHP Mastery. So this year we're doing this once as a mastery class for our integrative health practitioners. And it's 6 months long. We teach essentially behavioral psychology and life coaching, and helping clients as well as themselves get more consistent results in their life. And so it's all about habits, breaking habits, creating good habits, overcoming the imposter syndrome, and so much more. So one of the things in this book, though, is essentially figuring out what causes you to have a poor reaction, right? So what causes you not to be at your best? That's another way to look at it. And one of the examples is, let's say you go home, you're chatting with your spouse, and all of a sudden he or she says one thing, and it's kind of minor in general, but you just end up kind of flying off the handle, as they say, and yelling back and saying things you regret. Well, somehow you were triggered by that, right? And so the important thing is to figure out what was the trigger. And oftentimes it can be a comment just about, it could be a respect thing, it could be a love thing, it could be a caring thing, it could be not providing enough, like whatever it might be. But it doesn't start there. And that was the interesting thing about this book. This book was essentially the rain barrel effect for emotions, right? Because the rain barrel effect affects everything in our life. When I wrote that book, I wrote it about health, but the rain barrel effect is literally about all of life. So what the author was explaining is that whenever we're set off, that may or may not happen in a different situation. So if your spouse said something, like whatever they said, and you were out with a bunch of friends, and you were all laughing, having a good time, and they said that, it might be taken in a different context. But what happens is, when you just had a rough day at work, you had meetings that didn't go well, you're not meeting deadlines, when you were coming home, you missed time, weren't able to get to the gym, then you're stuck in traffic, and now you're coming home. So you're stressed, right? You just filled up your rain barrel with stress. That's basically what it's showing. And then one of your particular triggers was set off. So this explains how to go back, look at what's happening, understand that it is happening, and before you explode or get upset or handle things in not your best way, right, putting your best foot forward, you're able to stop that. So it was a good book. I can definitely recommend it. Again, I don't do a whole lot of, I would say, audiobooks, but this one was a good one, easy to listen to, super easy. And one thing I want to share with you as well is that the way that I've done this now for years is understanding that too, that I need to switch modes when I come back from work. So this is exactly what I do. Always when I'm done for the day, I kind of reorganize my desk. My desk is like a 5 foot by 3 foot. It's a pretty big desk. And it's always looks like literally a bomb hit it or a tornado came through by the end of the day. I've got research, I've got notes, I have vitamins, I have my journal, I've got smoothies, water bottles. It's a huge mess. You can't see that on purpose because I don't show that. But that's what it looks like. All around you, there's stuff everywhere. Okay, so what do? I organize it. At the end of the day, it takes maybe 3 minutes, right? We're not talking about a 20-minute task. And then what I do is I go to the gym, and that's 30 minutes. Or I go for a walk on the way home. That's really it. That's really all that I do. I close Slack, I close my work, and that changes modes for me. So it's just one thing to think about. You might just do simple breath work or whatever it might be to kind of switch those gears. All right, couple research studies for the day. Hopefully that was helpful. I will link up the book again at 2177 today. All right, research, really great. You know, we're always talking about 10,000 steps a day. Always talking about 10,000 steps. Well, let me share with you because I love being able to say, hey, what if you can't do 10,000 steps a day, right? Or do you just not get any benefit? I don't know. Let's check this out. This was an 11-year study, over 2,000 participants at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, and published in JAMA. Okay, let's go over that. Walking at least 7,000 steps a day reduced risk for premature death by 50 to 70%. I just want you to know how ridiculous that number is, okay? So I'm going to stop this excerpt for a moment. You literally reduce premature death, so before the average age of life expectancy, by 50 to 70% just walking 7,000 steps a day. Just by moving your body 7,000 steps a day. You can track it on any device known to man, a pedometer that costs $10, an Oura Ring, an Apple Watch, a Whoop strap, a whatever. I mean, literally walk 7,000 steps a day. I mean, if you do sauna, I'm going to be doing a longevity course in this, but it's such an insane statistic. There's no drug that could possibly mimic walking 7,000 steps a day. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I digress. So walking between 7,000 and 10,000 steps daily improved health even more. But walking more than 10,000 steps a day did not add additional benefit. What you might not know, the often cited guideline to walking 10,000 steps a day is based on original campaign for a Japanese pedometer. Now, this is unfortunate that they write this because this is not part of the study. And so if you see that is actually not true. Okay, so let's just step back. There's often a little internet myths that go along. So I saw this in a publication. I was like, well, that is not true. That's not part of the study at all. And the walking 10,000 steps a day, it's like that goes back thousands of years. We're talking about Paleolithic man and woman that walked on average 13,000 to 18,000 steps a day. We can see that through anthropomorphic-based data or anthropologic-based data. We can look at all the teachings in Ayurveda. We can look at the average walking and not mobility, but manual labor people did just even before the year 1900. So I don't know who came up with that. I mean, sure, they use that to market their pedometer, which just tracks your steps. But this has been around a long time. So that's kind of just a little silly excerpt. But now again, we have so much research on 10,000 steps. But if you do 7,000, still fantastic, right? And 7,000 is actually, well, it's about 30 minutes less walking a day, too, because 10,000 steps is about 100 minutes of walking a day. So 7,000 steps is about 70 minutes of walking a day. That's just a little over an hour for the entire day. If you can't hit 7,000 steps, work up to it. All right, I'll link up that study as well. And I wanted to go through one more with you, and this was an interesting one because controversial, saying that vegan diets do not supply enough vitamins, especially for children. So this went on. This is a study done at the researchers of University of Helsinki, Finland, and published in EMBO Molecular Medicine. So now, there is truth to this. That we know that on a vegan diet, you can pretty much get everything you need, but you're most likely going to be low on B vitamins. Most of the time, B12 is what's cited, which is true. That you're going to be low on usually vitamin D, and you may be low on iodine as well. Maybe, right? So these are things that we know specifically. So why is this really important? Well, what they found is that children on a vegan diet also had significantly lower vitamin D, okay, so even if supplementing, and they had lower levels of vitamin A and an omega-3 fatty acid, which is important for brain and neurological-based development. This is very important. Now, the reason why I say this is that if you believe in raising your child using or having them on a vegan-based diet, vegan-based lifestyle, I support you, no doubt about it. I support all of the people in our practice on a vegan-based diet. What I just want you to know is that you really do, in my opinion, again, I'm saying this out of love, you really do need to supplement with with a good activated multivitamin. There's just no doubt about it, and some omega-3. All right, so that's really important. And vitamin D, sorry. So if you only do 3 things It's vitamin D, some omegas. You can get it from a vegan source. It's not going to be absorbed as well, but you can do it. And something like the daily nutritional support. I recommend the daily nutritional support because children are not often eating enough protein on a vegan diet because they're not willing to eat as many beans and legumes and different things like that. Now, they may, your kids might be different. That's okay. That's great. So either way, I just use them like the daily nutritional support, which is completely vegan, even the vitamin D in it. And just make sure that you're getting all the nutrients for yourself and your kids. So again, totally support a vegan-based diet. If you'd like to be on it, fantastic. Just make sure you are supplementing to get all the others. So the daily nutritional support will provide everything, including the B12, including the vitamin A. You just need to supplement then with a little extra vitamin D and a little extra omega-3. All right. So, but again, you can use any brand in the world. Just look though at the label of what we provide and then choose another company if you want to. All right. So I'm just here to give you the ability to make an informed decision and then exactly what we use in our practice with other people. And then you get to say, hey, all of this makes sense. I'm going to use this brand instead. And I'm totally good with that. So hopefully this was helpful today. A little bit of a longer show. Hopefully it was helpful. And of course, if you found it useful, please do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care of everyone. Have an amazing weekend. And I'll be back tomorrow with our Cabral House Calls. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. And hopefully you heard all last week about our brand new Ayubowan-based membership. This is not just another membership. This is not just another online-based program. This is a program that is built around you and our global health community. It is the program that I've been looking to create for the past 5 years. And finally, we've been able to do it in partnership with Equalife. This means that we are going to truly help you figure out your underlying root cause imbalances. If you're already well, great. We're going to show you how to optimize your body. And if you're not feeling well, or you're gaining more weight than you like, or you're aging at a much faster rate, we're going to help you with that as well. Here's what we're going to do. Every 90 days, we are going to ship you out a brand new lab test. And that lab test is going to come with a 30-minute coaching consultation. This means you're not only going to get the lab test, you're going to get the results, you're going to get the coaching call, and you're also going to get a customized plan. I mean, it can't get any better than that. And it's not just about the lab testing, which shares with you these underlying root causes, but we're also going to provide you with master classes every single month. This means that we're going to be doing workshops. So these are real workshops with experts in their field. I have many amazing colleagues that I want to introduce you to. We're talking about celebrity chefs, teaching you the best recipes, showing them creating these recipes. We're going to be working with mental health based therapists. We're going to be working with the best exercise professionals out there. We're going to be talking about people that create the binaural beats, people that do the absolute best breath work based programs out there, hot and cold based therapy. And again, this is going to be interactive. We're going to be doing this live on video, and then we're also going to be taking our community's questions, Q&A at the end. This is exclusive to our new Ayubowan-based members. Absolutely phenomenal. Again, I have so much more that I want to share with you, but I'm going to keep it at that for today. I'm going to send you over to the membership page because, again, I could go on, and I have a video explaining that there, but I want you to know all of this is going to culminate in April when we release our brand new app. Again, this is members only, charter members only for these first 90 days of anyone that is joining before that is going to get access to this app. And this app is going to be next level, providing you with exercise, nutrition, all your lab results, everything stored in one place. We can also create your ideal day and your ideal week. You and your coach will be able to work together. So if you're currently working with an integrative health practitioner, you'll be able to work with your integrative health practitioner. If you're working with someone on our team, you can work with our team. This is the future of healthcare. It really is. This is where we're going to be taking people where they learn that they're able to take control of their own health. I want to share with you all the details. So if you want to head on over right now to equa.life, you'll be able to find all of those details by clicking on that Ayubowan-based banner. I'll give you a direct link as well. Go to equa.life/Ayubowan or stephencabral.com/Ayubowan. But they'll all send to the same place. And Ayubowan is spelled Ayubowan. Ayubowan by Equalife. It is the future. I would love to have you as part of the community. I would love to be chatting with you too on our next workshop. Take care, everyone.